For sale here today we have a Lexicon MPX550. The reason why I've decided to do this little video, this unit, is not because it's anything special. It's a very basic, straightforward, bread and butter sort of reverb and delay, but it's had a few mods that make it really useful for someone who may be working as a solo singer or an entertainer. Right, the first thing, the way that this works, if we look down on the screen here, it's got user memories, and I've got set up in here about 9 different user memories. To select a memory, you turn the dial. When you find one that you want, you press the load button and it immediately loads. I've wired this unit up so that it's actually connected to a mixer at the moment. My voice is going through the mixer, and it's wired up dead simple at the back. We've got an XLR going in, which is a send from the mixer, and then we've got 2 TRSs coming out that go into the channels on the mixer so that you can actually hear it. So to make this work, if I wind this back and we wind it back to say user 1, which is a huge reverb, and go load, you'll see that the unit's bypassed. As soon as I take the bypass off, 1, 2, you hear the reverb. So you hear that it's a standard Lexicon reverb, very high quality and totally editable. Right, so when you're using it for a gig, you can go through different settings and load them. Now you can do this by hand, but that's a bit of a pain when you're trying to play a guitar or you're trying to keep an audience entertained. So what I actually did was I had the unit modded so that it has a MIDI pedal. And the MIDI pedal that goes with it is this one here, which is a Rolls MIDI pedal. It's a Rolls MP80. It's usually a guitar pedal, but the way it's been modded so that as soon as you plug a MIDI lead from the unit into the Lexicon, which I'm going to do now, it actually takes its power from the Lexicon itself, and you'll see straight away that this is now lit up saying program number 178. All of these ones that are preset, and the labels actually stand for presets on the Lexicon, are all on the 0. So if I just use the up key and go to 08, you'll notice here that this one is 07 when I press all off. And if we look at the Lexicon now, you'll see that it's pulled up usually at number 8, which is off. And if I take the bypass off, we'll be able to see how this works now. So now that the bypass is off, you don't hear any effect on my voice. But if we look at the MIDI pedal, which obviously would be on the floor, if I select, say, big reverb, within a couple of seconds, we get a big reverb. If I press medium reverb, it immediately takes it down to a smaller reverb. And then we go down to a small, 1, 2, 2, and we get a very small reverb. To turn the unit off, we just press all off, and that turns the effects off. And obviously with this on the floor, it's really useful. What it's also useful for is the fact that when we're using delays, we try to get the delays to be in time with songs. Now, the way the Lexicon works, if I pick up here and there's one called tap tempo 0 FB, that means it's a tap tempo, you can tap a tempo into it, and it's got 0 feedback. And the effect of this, if I select it, we get 1 delay, 1 echo, meaning there's no 0 amount of feedback. And if we look on the unit itself, you'll see that there's a light flashing which says tap. If I tap this in time with music, 1, 2. If I tap it slowly now, 1. You'll see that it changes the delay time to match to the music. So I'll go off now. So you can see how useful this is going to be in a gig situation. You can turn the reverbs on and off. You can turn the echoes on and off. There's even one here called ADT Slap, which is an old single delay effect that would be similar to the sort of stuff you found in some studios maybe, or old studios using tape delay. So if I hit that one, 2, 2, and turn the bypass off, 2, 2, 1, 2. Or go back to reverb, huge reverb, 2, 1, 2, 1, and back to a big reverb, 1, 2. So you can see how useful the pedal is with it. You can throw the pedal on the floor, and if I turn it all off again, you can put the pedal on the floor and can control the unit at any time. I'm also going to throw in a separate pedal, which is this one, which when it's plugged into the foot switch input on the back of the unit, this then takes over. If we go back to a tap reverb, it takes over the tap tempo. So you see the light flashing there, and if I click this switch fast, you'll see that the tempo's now increased. So use this pedal in conjunction with the MIDI one, and by doing that you can control everything with no hands so that it's all on the floor in front of you. Again, all included in the price. The unit alone retailed at about 400 quid. The MIDI pedals were over, I think, about 90 quid. All the leads and connections and the MIDI pedal, all I want for the lot is £110. No offers, please. If you don't fancy it, don't call me. Oh, there's one slight drawback with the unit. I don't use any editing on it at all because obviously I'm happy with the way the delays and the reverbs are set up. But the way it's achieved is we use these dials here, which immediately come up with soft screens, and as you turn them you can adjust the parameters of the different effects. When you get the parameters the way you want them, you just click save and it actually stores on the user memories your own presets. Now, because of the age of the unit, some of these don't increment as well as they should. They jump about a little bit. For instance, if I just can zoom in a little bit there now, as I turn this one, it's changing the reverb time, and you'll notice that the actual dial on the screen is jumping around quite a bit because the encoder's a little bit worn. If you can live with that, the unit's a good one, but you could probably get it repaired. I've never had to bother because I've never changed anything apart from the presets that I've been using for the last 4 years. So if you buy it, you're buying it with the full knowledge that I think it's one of the encoders, maybe 2 of them, is just a little bit temperamental. It misses occasionally, but it still works and you can still persevere and actually program settings the way you want them. Okay, so that's the unit. Please don't bid unless you're sure of what it is and you're sure of the problems with a couple of the encoders. Okay, thank you.